When I win, I will immediately bring prices down starting on day one.
That ain't true. That's what you just heard. Since day one of Donald Trump's presidency, prices are not down, they're up. Inflation is getting worse, not better. The prices of groceries, gas, housing, eggs, of essentials is not getting better, it's getting worse. Meanwhile, Donald Trump has done nothing, goose eggs, to lower prices for you. Instead, he's pardoned violent criminals who savagely beat police officers on January 6th. That's an effing disgrace. He's letting Elon Musk take a chainsaw to vital government programs, and then, even worse, giving him access to Americans' most sensitive data. Social security numbers, tax returns, healthcare bills.
That's right, gang. You're watching Democrat Senators Chuck Schumer and Elizabeth Pocahontas Warren posting identical videos, word for word, with the exact same script in anticipation of Trump's speech tonight before the joint session of Congress. Now, of course, this was embarrassing. I mean, they're both trying to come across as if they're authentic, as if they were taking some time out to talk with their voters, their own constituents. As it turns out, this is nothing more than scripted talking points put together by someone else other than these two senators. But then, as the day went on today, things took a turn for the worst. It started with 2, but then it turned to 3.
That ain't true. That's what you just heard. Since day one of Donald Trump's presidency, prices are not down, they're up. Inflation is getting worse, not better. The prices of groceries, gas, housing, eggs.
And just when you thought 3 Democrat senators saying the same thing was bad enough, well,
when I win, I will immediately bring prices down starting on day one.
That's right, gang. You are actually seeing and hearing that. That is not a Saturday Night Live script. These are 22 Democrat senators all literally reading off the exact same script. Now, the irony behind this stunt was that the Democrats actually just held a retreat. They were calling it their comeback retreat just last month as a post-mortem to try to figure out what they needed to do to make sure to avoid another shellacking like they got back in November. And at the top of their list was that they needed to be more authentic. I kid you not. They needed to be more authentic. They needed to more authentically connect with their voters, particularly working class voters with whom they have completely severed any disconnect. They have no connection with working class voters anymore. There's a disconnect that's centered on the Democrats' commitment to woke values that are shared by literally no one. So the Democrats apparently came out of that retreat encouraged to be more authentic in order to relate more organically with working class voters. And one of the things they do is they come up with this completely scripted, fabricated, choreographed messaging that literally landed with no one. I mean, it resonated with literally no one. CNN Scott Jennings caught it. He tweeted out how utterly embarrassing it was in light of what the Democrats' own advisors were telling them, that they needed to be more authentic. So, yes, we need to be more authentic. What does he say? We need more authenticity in our politicians. And then they put this up. Elon Musk, too, noticed the massive disconnect between the Democrats and voters, noting that we're now up to 22 Democrat senators all doing the exact same cringe video simultaneously. And then Elon offered to buy a Cybertruck for anyone who could provide proof of who actually wrote that particular piece of propaganda, as he called it. So the first person to post proof in the replies to this post gets the truck. Love it. Now, I'm so proud of our good friend Data Republican. She took up the challenge. You know, she's a data whiz, right? She's part of Doge. And she responded to Elon by first noting that the Senate Democratic Caucus operates a Senate Democratic Media Center, which serves as a one-stop shop for Democratic offices looking for high-level digital assets, providing video editors, studios, digital strategists for coordinated content. Now, Data Republican speculates that content was centrally developed, most likely under the direction of Senate Democrat leadership's communications arm, and then executed by the senator's communications staff in coordination. So Data Republican consulted AI, and the AI speculated that one specific person is most likely leading this. This is a fellow by the name of Justin Goodman. Justin Goodman is Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer's former communications director. And what do you know? If you go to his website, his biography brags about him being the chief spokesman for every Senate battle in recent memory. So Data Republican may indeed have identified the one who wrote that embarrassing script. We'll have to see. And by the way, she's declined the Cybertruck. She's so awesome. She really just wants to get to the roots of this Democrat seediness and expose it for everyone to see. We all have an opportunity to finally stop big tech and government overreach. It's happening, gang. Patriots are reclaiming our privacy, and you have no better way of protecting yourself than with SLNT. That's short for silent. Silent's Faraday products block all incoming and outgoing signals so no one can get their hands on your information. From key FOBs to phones and laptops, simply place your device inside, close the sleeve, and that's it. You're off the grid and safeguarded from unauthorized access. Go silent today by clicking on that link below or going to slnt.com/Turley to save 15% plus free shipping on all qualifying orders. Stay ahead of what's coming and secure your privacy today. Again, that's slnt.com/Turley for 15% off and free shipping on all qualified orders. slnt.com/Turley. Now, keep in mind this scripted and frankly cringeworthy unison that we just heard from Democrat senators is not the first time we've seen something like this. For example, check this out.
Our greatest responsibility is to serve our
Treasure Valley communities,
the El Paso, Las Cruces communities,
Eastern Iowa communities,
Mid-Michigan communities.
We are extremely proud of the quality, balanced journalism that CBS 4 News produces.
But
we are concerned about the trouble and trend of irresponsible, one-sided news stories plaguing our country.
the sharing of biased and
false news has become all too common on social media.
More alarming, some media outlets publish these stories simply aren't true without checking facts first.
Unfortunately, some members of the media use their platforms to push their own personal bias and agenda to control exactly what people think. And this is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
Yeah, I mean, creepy is what comes to my mind. Now, what's so fascinating about what we're seeing here, what's so revealing, is how what the Democrats just got caught doing and what you just saw these local media outlets routinely get caught doing reflects the dynamics behind a world known as managerialism. If you recall, we interviewed Orrin McIntyre on this, not too long ago, a couple of months ago. And he developed this concept of managerialism extensively in his book, The Total State. In a word, managerialism is a rule by elites, a sort of neo-feudalized rule by an aristocracy that controls and coordinates the whole of political and economic life. And in such a world, in such a social order, everything basically operates from top down. So all localized political control, any kind of local literal democracy has been eclipsed by a one-size-fits-all pyramid-like managerial elite. And what's so fascinating here with these 22 Democrat senators all getting caught reading off the same script is that in such a world, nothing is actually authentic. That's what's so fascinating. Everything is artificial. Everything is standardized. Everything is focus group tested. It's basically the key dynamic of corporatism, standardization and consolidation, become key to scale and mass control. And ironically, Democrat senators are themselves demonstrating this. We tend to think that they're the managerial elite, but ironically, these Democrat senators are demonstrating that they themselves are the objects of such standardized and managerialized control. So that's why I think Elon Musk wanted to find out who's really behind it all. But the other dynamic that's in play here is a counter dynamic to this managerialism, which is the rise of what scholars call techno-populism. We talk a lot about this phenomenon on our channel, but if you think about it, these Democrat senators, in getting exposed the way they did, they basically got fact checked. Same with these local news outlets. The legacy media outlets are constantly getting fact checked. Their antics are getting fact checked in real time. And this fact checking by a mass audience online is indicative of what scholars are calling techno-populism. So techno-populism involves the dynamic wherein technological innovations like the internet, or even more broadly, cryptocurrencies and the like, they're increasingly freeing populations from managerialist control, as exemplified most particularly by the legacy media there. So techno-populism arises out of what's called the network society, and that involves the kind of social order that emerges when internet-based technologies function as the organizational center of society. And the key to this new social order is that all the old gatekeepers of information, namely the media, again, more broadly, the universities, the think tanks, and the like, they no longer have a dominant foothold on what counts as knowledge and reliable information. And this is, of course, because of the rise of, with the rise of the internet, you and I are now able to share digital information with each other in a way that basically bypasses these old gatekeepers in a manner comparable to the way email and texting bypass the old post office. And so as a result, information has been radically democratized. It's been decentralized away from monopolistic institutions like the legacy media and managerialism more broadly understood. And it's now available to everyone through internet-based technologies. So what scholars are calling techno-populism is enabling more and more populations to basically emancipate themselves from the confines of the old liberal managerial structures. And as a result, we're now in a position to fact check the self-anointed fact checkers. This, I would argue, this is probably the key reason why the legacy media is imploding. Because as it turns out, it can't bear the scrutiny of millions upon millions of citizens armed with the same information that anyone at CNN has, fact-checking CNN. And as it turns out, the Democrat senators are running into the same embarrassment. The internet, comprised of millions upon millions of citizens online, will end up exposing your antics. The days of being able to hide behind the cover of the legacy media are over. And the Democrats are finding that out the hard way. And by the way, I think this is one of the reasons why Trump so obviously frustrates the legacy media. Because ever since, I'm just going all the way back to his first campaign back in 2016, he's been a master at tapping into this rising techno-populist network society and bypassing the old informational gatekeepers who originally tried to box him out of the public conversation. All of this is to say, in my view, that the Democrats have a lot of catching up to do with this new program. This literally the new network-based social order that's rising has caught them totally off guard. And until they catch up, I have a feeling the Chuck Schumer, Elizabeth Warren embarrassments, frankly, are just getting started. By the way, click on the link in the description below to get all these articles and tweets I reference throughout my videos emailed to you each and every day. You're going to love it. We want you to have the best resources out there to convince your family and your friends of this new MAGA super age that's rising here.